Okay, so this is my second video over nuclear reactions, nuclear help. And so this one I'm specifically going to go over how to balance nuclear equations. So balancing nuclear equations is just like balancing any other equation. Both sides of the arrow have to be equal. So think of your arrow as an equal sign. But we're talking about protons versus the mass number. So your mass numbers, those top numbers have to be the same, and then the bottom numbers have to be the same. The way that's worded sounds really weird. It sounds like they need to be the same, like the top and the bottom have to be equal to each other. They don't. I need my top numbers to match out on my arrow and my bottom numbers to match out on my arrow, but the top and the bottom numbers will not be the same. So we're going to go through it. I have it color coded to hopefully help you. So I have an example. And so right here is an equation, and it's already balanced for us. We're just going to go through it and double check that it's balanced to make sure you understand. I've color coded these. My top number is in red, okay? And so my bottom numbers are in green. So we're going to focus first on our top numbers. So I'm going to rewrite my top numbers so we can see it. So I have 238 on this side. My arrow sign is an equals number, and I have 234 plus 4 because that's a plus sign. And so is this true? 234 plus 4 is 238. So these are equal. So that's balanced. So my top numbers are good. Okay, so that's what I mean by they have to be equal to each other. The left side of the arrow has to be equal to the right side of the arrow for your top numbers. And that it's true for that first equation. So we're good to go. It's balanced. Hopefully you can kind of see how it's balanced. So my bottom numbers, you can set it up the same way. I have a 92. I have my arrow, which is my equal sign. And then I have a 90 plus 2. 90 plus 2 is 92, so this statement is true as well. So these numbers, 92 and 238 are not the same number. Okay, but this is a balanced equation because everything on the left-hand side is balanced to everything on the right-hand side. When you add them up, you do whatever math is necessary, they are equal to each other. So that's what we're talking about when we say balanced. So if I look down here, I have a 14 equals 14 plus 0. Well, 14 plus 0 is 14, so my top numbers are balanced. If you need to write it out like this every time, you definitely can. I'm trying to show you don't have to, though. So this is already balanced. Down here, 6 is equal to 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. And so in this case, it's also true. So I want y'all to take a look at that and make sure you understand how both of those are balanced. The top numbers are balanced and the bottom numbers are balanced. Okay, so now we're going to work one out. So that was just checking, making sure that we understood what I meant when I said they have to be equal to each other. The left-hand side and the right-hand side are equal to each other. So now we're going to do one. So right here, I kept the color coding for you. So I have 186 on top over 80 is equal to 0 over negative 1 and then a blank. We need to solve for this blank, and we can. We're just going to do the exact method we were doing earlier. I'm going to write it out. I want you to always write them out like this, and it'll help you out. I'm going to write 186. When I see that arrow, it means equals 0 plus something I don't know. In math, whenever you don't know something, we always put a variable for it. So in this case, let's put x, because that's what we're used to, right? So I got 186 is equal to 0 plus x. Well, if I get 0, or if I get x by itself, I subtract 0 from both sides, which, surprise, is just 186, is equal to x. So that means my top number is 186. Now I can go double check myself. 186 plus 0 is equal to 186. Is that true? Yeah, it is. So we did the first part right. So we're going to do the second part. So I'm going to pull down 80. I just write it in the exact order it comes in. My arrow is next, so it's an equal sign. Negative 1 is next. Then a plus sign, and then I don't know. So what do? I write an x there because it's my variable that I don't know. And now I need to solve. I need to get x by itself, and I have a negative 1. So how do I get rid of a negative 1? How do I get rid of something that's negative? I'm going to add. I'm going to add 1. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. So this cancels, and then I have 81 is equal to x. So that bottom number is 81. And so now I have solved for my top and bottom numbers. The last thing I have to do is go to a periodic table, find atomic number 81, and look at the symbol beside it. That symbol is TL. So whenever you look, the symbol is T, lowercase l. And then we've solved for that problem. So that's how you balance a nuclear equation. So hopefully that's making a little bit of sense, and it can help you out as you work through these problems.